What's up? This is Brett Scallions with Fuel. You got it tuned in right here, loud and proud, with Brigade-Radio-One.
I had a bad day again. Oh, and now I feel contagious.
You're listening to Brigade-Radio-One.
It's Ethan with Brigade-Radio-One and Combat Radio live from Universal Studios. We are off campus from the back lot today for a very special, epic event. We're here at the Canyon in Valencia with Blue Oyster Cult. It doesn't get much better than this. Maybe the greatest band since the Beatles?
Yeah, give me a break.
Oh, possibly.
Give me a break.
Yeah.
No, you don't think so?
Well, maybe alphabetically.
Yeah, maybe top 5.
Yeah, this is Don and Eric with Blue Oyster Cult.
Alphabetically, we come after the Beatles.
Well, I have to tell you, my kid, you can kind of gauge the success of a band by how it transcends the different generations, right? And my daughter is a huge Blue Oyster Cult fan.
She's 12?
She's 16 now. So I thought that was impressive. So she's got good taste in music.
It impresses me.
Yeah.
It does.
How did she discover us?
Well, through me, I was cranking some stuff, and I discovered it through the work of one of our past guests, Stacy Peralta, who put some of it in a documentary. I mean, I knew a lot of Blue Oyster Cult, but some of it he was using, and when he was doing the sound supervision on that documentary, Dogtown and Z-Boys, he was looking at some deep cuts for Blue Oyster Cult. So it was kind of like an exploratory musical mission. But let me ask you guys this. You're obviously legends. What is it like waking up in the morning as Blue Oyster Cult? Like, do you get up and go like, man, I'm in a pretty fucking amazing band? Like,
well, the first thing I do is go to my iPad and play a few levels of a video game.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And, we put our pants on one leg at a time.
Yeah? You don't sit back and be like, dude, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
You mean let me bask in these royalties?
Yeah, let me sit back and just appreciate how awesome I am as a band member musically. It's just so awesome all around. I mean, isn't that what life is like for you guys?
No, I'm playing a few levels of a video game. That's really what I do.
I definitely, count our blessings because we're pretty lucky to have done what we did then and do what we do now.
I'm going to have to ask quickly, as just a footnote, what video game are you playing first thing in the morning? Audience will kill me if they are.
Transformers: The Earth Wars.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
It's pretty addictive, though. Do you have time for that?
It's an iPad game, yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
A mobile game, yeah.
That doesn't get in the way of business, that game? You don't have any kind of video game addiction that has you...
Well, only on the weekends when there's double XP.
Right, gotcha. Oh, yeah. That would make sense. Hey, when would you guys say you were watching a movie or had a moment where you're, or actually, before I get to this question, what's the moment for you guys where you realized early on where we might actually make something of this? We're gonna succeed at this. Like a special moment that was a special benchmark as musicians where you go, oh my God, this Blue Oyster Cult thing, I may not have to get that job at the transit company that my dad wanted me to get or what have you. Like, this is gonna work. Do you have a moment like that in your history?
I don't know if there was an actual asterisk.
Yeah. I don't know if we ever expected that it would last as long as it has. I think initially I thought maybe make a few records, maybe 2 or 3 albums, and then move on.
Yeah, move on to what? Like, what did you think you'd go do?
I don't know. I think if the band had failed in the early days, I would have wanted to be a recording engineer, a producer. I would have coming into that side of the business.
Now, for our audience, have you done a lot of producing for other artists?
No. As it turns out, no.
Would you entertain doing that?
Yeah, although at this moment in history, I got my hands full with Blue Oyster Cult.
Yeah, because you're doing 80 dates a year, or?
We did 70 last year and 90 the years before. We'll do a little less this year. We're going to do some recording, and there's not a lot of time left.
Well, let's not talk in those terms right now. But explain to me, who is the greatest? Who came up to you as a Blue Oyster Cult fan that blew you away the most?
As a fan?
I heard former President Obama was a fan.
We heard that too.
Yeah.
Well, he was. Yeah, we were mentioned in that biography of him that was came out about midway through his presidency.
That as a teenager he listened to us.
Yeah, when he was living on in Honolulu, and they used to go up into the hills there and smoke weed and listen to Aerosmith and Blue Oyster Cult and whoever else it was. You know.
I'm just glad that he was honest enough about what he was doing when he was listening to the music.
And I sent the White House, I sent the White House an email during his presidency offering him our box set, but I never heard back.
I don't think that's a personal thing, though. I think that's a black hole. I think but I think he would be delighted to hear that you were generous with your box set. That'd be a pretty nice gift. I'm surprised he didn't have you guys play a White House function, because that would really hippen up the joint, don't you think?
Maybe.
Yeah, well, he had plenty of popular artists there, but he overlooked us.
We're not in there with Streisand exactly.
Right.
A little different.
So we know the rumor is he's a fan. Have you ever been like surprised when some legend has come out and approached you guys and said, "Oh, you're the reason I'm this today," or?
Well, I ran into Senator Schumer in the Delta Lounge at LaGuardia.
Yeah.
And he claimed to like our music, but I think it was shoveling it a little bit.
Yeah, you never can tell with a politician. I know Stephen King is a fan.
Yeah, we just did a charity concert for Alice Cooper around Christmas, and Johnny Depp is in Alice's band, Hollywood Vampires, and we were talking to him, and he claimed that he played Blue Oyster Cult practically every day.
Now that I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I certainly believe that with Johnny Depp.
And he went to Hollywood to become a musician, a rock star, before he did any acting.
Yeah, I've heard he's played here, actually. The same stage you're about to take here at the Canyon Club, he climbed on with Stone Temple Pilots, so he might pop in tonight. I mean, who wouldn't want to try to bum rush the stage with Blue Oyster Cult on it?
We had
a constant problem for us, Ethan.
We had a chat with him. He was pretty nice. And he can actually play.
Yeah.
Yeah, he plays and sings well.
Do you guys, the question I was going to follow up with is, I've heard your music in like Stephen King movies everywhere. Have you ever like watched something and been like, oh, that's us?
Well, tell them the original, horror movie story.
Oh, right, John Carpenter, what's the name of that damn movie?
Halloween? The Fog?
The Halloween movie.
The first Halloween movie. Yeah, he put it in there, and we didn't know about it, and actually he never cleared the usage before the movie was released, so we found out about it when the movie was in theaters.
A friend of Buck's said, "Did you know that Don't Fear the Reaper is in Halloween?" We said no.
Yeah.
So,
and that was the first usage after the song came out.
How does something like that flow with you guys? Do you realize that and go, at some point, like a decade after that thing is a hit, do you realize that we've got a check coming, or?
There was no way to anticipate it. It's just been sort of a phenomenon, and it's great. And it's not the only one. You look at all the classic rock music that's in the culture and in the art and the popular art.
But are you guys artists who hear that in Halloween and go, "Hey, that's cool"? Or do you let the movie, do you wait a year later and go "Oh, well, wait a minute, maybe"?
You don't anticipate that it happens, just like you never anticipated ringtones. That just came out of the blue, that people would want to have songs as their ring on their cell phones.
But the Halloween film itself never contributed to the Blue Oyster Cult retirement fund in any way.
Oh yeah, we
they
made some
didn't.
money from it.
Okay.
Yeah.
After the fact.
Yeah, after the fact, and I don't think we did a very good negotiation on it. Our manager wasn't that. I don't think he foresaw what that was, or even what the competing going rate was. But that's water long under the bridge.
And isn't it to a point ambiguous in a way, because it probably introduced a huge amount of fans to the music in a way that probably can't be quantified, who went out later and bought the albums, and who is that I was watching this movie and I heard this band.
Yeah, but what's really made a difference is the internet. On one hand, it killed the record business, but on the other hand, it's exposed music of our era to young kids. And I mean, anybody can access, if you got the streaming services or YouTube, you can access all that stuff, and people do. And so I think that's really helped our longevity, because all this music from the 60s to the 90s really endures.
Yeah, for sure. Every year for charity, for social services, we do a Halloween album with all the celebrities we've interviewed that year, like kicking in a contribution if they like in a Christmas album. And what pains me is I'll get like a thing from Spotify saying, congratulations, your album has been downloaded 586,000 times. Here's $9. And I kind of go through the agony that the artist kind of suffers, where it sounds like it's going so wide distribution-wise, but you just don't know where the digital mafia is going to take their cut.
Yeah, obviously, in the dawn of the internet, no one made anything. It was all just being stolen.
Yeah.
And then Apple sort of, I think, saved the record company's asses in a lot of ways. And then it's coming around to where it's where you get paid now.
Mm.
And it's a lot better in the last 2 or 3 years than it was the last 5 years and than the last 10 years.
What was the best show you guys ever played?
Best show?
Yeah. Favorite concert of all time?
Well, we do an annual show at the, matter of fact, we're doing it tomorrow at the Emerald Queen Casino in Tacoma.
Yeah.
Those shows always stand out in my mind. Cumulatively, they're always great shows.
Yeah, great room and great audience. And of course, yeah, the biggest show we ever did was
San Diego.
The ballpark at San Diego with
Yeah.
Cheap Trick and Heart, and it was ZZ Top. I don't know
Yeah.
who was on that. That's the biggest show that we headlined. You know,
We've had a lot of ups and downs. We've had some stinkers. We've had some winners.
Did you guys pay your dues through like the club circuit?
Oh,
coming
absolutely,
out? And
absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you appreciate that time, or could you just not stand it?
It's like riding your bike and falling off and skinning your knee. Got plenty of bumps and bruises.
Yeah.
We played some shows back in we had a band house on Long Island where we would scrape along and had no money, and we'd get play a gig, and it would be like 5 sets a night and for $100, and the club owner would bemoan us if we played originals, so we'd have to learn club songs and Rolling Stones and whatever
Yeah, we were living on peanut butter sandwiches, and we'd have to get a gig so we could buy a tank of oil in the cold weather.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that all happened.
One of the things we do on our show when we're in the dugout at Universal is we rank tour bus stories, and there's been some good ones. Do you guys have like a tour or tour bus story that stands out as like a pure comedic moment where you can't believe you're living through it?
I would say one pops up, and literally, we had a tour bus once that got hung up. You know those sort of cement things that pops up out of the street to keep traffic from moving? Or our tour bus got hung up on one of those. The thing popped up while the bus was parked. We couldn't move. So one of our crew guys had a hacksaw and had to climb under the bus. This big cement pylon popped up into the engine compartment. So crawled under the bus and had to saw through the cement in the middle of the night so the bus could move and we could go on to the next venue.
That's a brave crew member right there.
Otherwise, we would not make the next show.
Yeah, that's above and beyond the Call of Duty too.
Yeah, I cringe just thinking of that, going under there to do that.
Well, this thing was, maybe 5-6 inches around.
Where was it?
In Europe somewhere, and we had to. Was it Jimbo or something? I can't remember who it was, but this thing had popped up maybe 7-8 inches straight up into the engine compartment, and we were not going anywhere.
Yeah, that's a good story. You got any? Do you have any?
No, historically, we've done more flying and driving than tour buses.
Because that's the way it is now, right? You don't really invest on the road unless you're like in
Well,
Japan.
I'm talking about during the day. We did have buses. The crew had buses. The crew, Light and Sound had buses, and our band crew had a bus, but the band itself didn't most of the time.
Yeah, we used to fly 90%.
Yeah.
We just did a bus tour of England about a month ago, but it was smooth sailing. It was like no trouble at all.
So do you guys, when you go to England or something, you have fans coming up with all kinds of Blue Oyster Cult ideas, like maybe you guys should pop out of coffins, or like all kinds of suggestions for how you guys should do. That's actually mine. I thought that the other day, like maybe these guys should just bust out of coffins to open up a show, like some vengeful kind of Grim Reaper thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Do you think the Canyon Club would get some coffins out here?
I think we could probably arrange it in your honor where you're talking, not for anyone, but for you. I think we can do it. But I just thought, like, I'm sure you've got fans who are just so possessed by the music that they have all kinds of creative ideas, and you know, they come up to you, and of course they accost you with what you need to know and how they know your business and your stage show better than you, right?
Yeah.
Well, they're certainly asking for tunes we don't play anymore.
Do they? Like, what's off the books that you don't play anymore?
We never play. You know, tertiary tracks that just, you know, deep tracks that we just don't play.
Mm-hmm.
Or there are odd arrangements that require instruments that we don't carry and things like that.
What's your favorite songs that you play?
Favorite songs?
That's tough.
You know, we change the set list every night.
Yeah,
Do
we
you?
try to keep ourselves entertained.
Yeah,
So
as
that-
opposed to many bands that
Yeah.
don't. Play the same show every night for a year, but we changed it, at least 1 or 2 songs every single night.
Yeah.
Because there are people who go to a lot of shows.
Do you ever sit back and listen to your music and be like, damn, that's genius? Because I would if I were you. I hear some of your lyrics and I hear the music and I'm like, who thinks of this shit? Like, what are these guys? Who comes up with stuff like Goddzilla
Yeah, well,
and makes it work?
it's true that our catalog doesn't sound like anything you're going to hear today.
Yeah.
And
We were listening to FM, you know, we were listening to, just for our own curiosity, we were riding together yesterday on the drive up I-5 yesterday, and we put on, was it Kiss FM? And there was Ariana Grande and a few other pop acts.
Post Malone and
Yeah, Post
guys
Malone.
like that.
Yeah.
It was just interesting to hear the formula of what's popular today and who's paying for it and
Right.
who's listening to it.
Yeah, we couldn't create that sound.
There were no guitars, number one,
Right.
you know, and there were no real instruments. It was all manufactured sounds.
I just remember my kid is hyper intelligent, hyper intuitive, very artistic. And the first time she heard Godzilla, and there's that line where he picks up a bus and he throws it back down, I just hear from the back seat a kid,
Yeah.
she's probably 13th time, going, "That's genius." Like, even like out of nowhere, like suddenly that got the response, and she's like, "That is genius."
Cool.
And so that tells you that you're transcending all kind of barriers.
Yeah.
Where there's a tone deaf generation that some of them are getting it.
You know, I mean, I'm never going to claim that our version of popular culture turns into the new classic, but it sort of is in a way, you know.
You guys got things to do, so I just got 2 quick questions, and we're done. And you guys your probation officer can take you back to your sound check, and you're off the hook, and you're free. Have you guys had any moments in your career where you met a legend or an idol you appreciated, who in turn respected what you're doing? Do you have any kind of moments where you had a conversation? For Peter Noon, and it happened in this room, it's when he got beat up by John Lennon. That was like his moment where John Lennon played him something, and Peter Noon goes, "I'm just not getting it, John," and John Lennon started punching him. Have you ever had a moment
room?
in this? Well, no, that the punching didn't happen there, but Peter Noon told us the story.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Very endearing guy. Do you have a moment where you sat there and at some point one of the reasons you got into the business, be it Elvis or what have you, and you had a moment where?
Well, we both met, I've got a senior moment. You can edit this out.
We can edit it.
Message in a bottle.
Oh, Sting.
Sting. We met Sting. We met him individually, and I think the same day. We were in a rehearsal place in New
Right.
York, which was like a warehouse. We were in one room, he was in another room. And I
Yeah.
walked out to like where the desk was, where you can get coffees and stuff, and he was sitting there. I introduced myself. He goes, "Oh, Blue Oyster Cult." He says, "I stole the lick from Don't Fear the Reaper from Message in a Bottle." And we had a nice conversation about it. I
Yeah.
said, "Oh, you're under arrest."
I've gone to see the police in Passaic, New Jersey, and went backstage and met him at that time. He said the same thing. Said the Reaper is a message in a bottle, basically.
Wow.
Yeah.
And if you think about it,
Yeah.
you hear it.
But he changed it enough that it's not like stealing. It was more of an homage. I said,
Yeah.
"You're welcome to it. Go ahead."
You just decoded like a great musical mystery right
Yeah.
there, because now all of a sudden you hear that song totally different,
Yeah.
don't you?
And that was Zenyatta Mandata, or whatever the name of that record was.
Yeah.
The second Police record. It was great. They're awesome.
It was nice that he's actually comes clean with that.
Yeah, but and it was
Yeah,
very
yeah.
pleasant about it.
Yeah.
It wasn't, he was not like a
Yeah.
conceited guy or anything. He was very pleasant
Yeah,
to chat with.
most of the superstars I've met are pretty nice.
Yeah.
At least just in casual conversation.
Do you have a favorite?
I met Ringo once, you know, before Blue Oyster Cult, basically. You know? Yeah. And just shook his hand, but it was that's all it was. But it was a thrill to meet Ringo, you know.
You're a big Beatles fan?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's why we're here, really.
Yeah.
Is it?
That's why most musicians of our era, I think, wanted to be professional.
Beatlemania was a big influence.
Yeah.
When I saw the Beatles, I thought to myself, I could do this.
I would like to do this.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
And here you are doing it.
Yeah.
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 On some level.
Yeah. There's very few people that haven't been influenced by the Beatles in a certain time period.
What have you guys got coming up? I'm going to post upcoming dates for the band and some other things through
Well,
the
it's all
station.
on blueoystercult.com.
Yeah. Yeah. The year's still being booked, and we have to leave some time open to do some rehearsal and recording too. So that's what we're doing.
So new material.
Yeah.
At that point, maybe we can circle around or have you guys come down to Universal, the back lot where we're based, and we can do a follow-up.
Yeah, that'd be great.
You know, something that can actually get
We'll
into
have
more depth.
something you can hear, and that'd be good.
Yeah, well, we're going to drop some of your music in rotation, and we're also going to maybe do, now I'm thinking we do like a song comparison between Don't Fear the Reaper and Message in a Bottle, and just let the audience kind of grasp it. But for anyone listening, we're going to actually ramp up a lot of Blue Oyster Cult in the weeks ahead, and we'll keep it going, and any new music you've got, of course, we'll be happy to support it. I've got one request. I don't know if you guys are up for this, but my daughter, for the last 8 years since she was in 3rd grade, came up with a campaign she does every year where she, under her leadership and us as a station, we do Christmas for about 600 homeless kids and their families at social services with presents and brunch. And I was wondering if you guys would be willing to sign a guitar that we can auction off in support of that cause for social services. Would you mind?
Yeah, absolutely.
But thank you. Yeah. And I appreciate you guys. I know you're legends and you got a lot to do. You're very gracious to take the time to talk to me, and I appreciate it. So for all of us
Glad
over
you
here.
do it.
Yeah. Well, hi to everybody, and peace on earth, goodwill toward men.
You better subscribe to this channel before you look uncool.